Good morning, Sean here. It's time for the Revelstoke Mayor Report with Mayor Gary Sauls. Good morning, Gary.
Good morning, Sean. How are you doing today?
Today is the final day before spring break, so 2 weeks and then right into Easter. So we're going to have lots of kids out and about on the street in the next coming weeks, unless it pounds rain. But nonetheless, the bikes are starting to make their way back out onto the roads, as I'm sure you've noticed.
Watching the kids even this morning going to school, you can see they're excited. They're on their bikes. They're all over the place. The end of school day today, we need to be very cognizant of the fact that the kids are out there. They're doing their thing. They're excited for some time off, so we need to make sure that we're aware they're there. Slow down and look out for the kids because they're going to be out to play and just enjoy time, and we want to make sure that we're looking after their needs.
Absolutely. And I noticed City Hall is finally check-marked. It's done, and it's all nice and white and bright.
It's white and bright, and got black. We got the City Hall sign, City Hall up yesterday, and the 1939 up. So when you look at the building now, for those of us who haven't been around since 1939, we can envision what it looked like when it was originally built in 1939. So we brought it back to its original look.
I know there was questions, and I'm sure you know where I'm going with this, about the dollars, the cost, and if we were under, over, or right on par for budget.
Well, we won't know exactly where we're at for a couple months in case there's extra bills and whatnot that come through, but we believe we're right on budget. We're a little below, so I'm really happy about that. Once it comes through, we'll let everyone know where we're at with that, but I think we're pretty close to what we expected it to cost.
There's going to be a slow burn with the vacation rental discussion. We know that's been going on. It's going to go on. It's just in the works.
There'll be some engagement with the community on that. We want to make sure we do what's right for the communities. We'll just go through it and make sure that people get a chance to give us their opinion.
How do you find the housing market in our town? Did you ever imagine in your time of living here that you would see a house go for sale for what they go for sometimes?
No, absolutely not. And even sometimes there's bidding wars at 10 and 15% over asking price. So definitely the market's hot. That's what they're calling it, and we're seeing that throughout the province. But it's significant here, and it's harder for people to find housing that they can afford, and harder for them to find housing just to rent and live.
Well, it's kind of funny, or not funny, haha, but ironic, you're forced to pay X amount in rent, which is probably more than the mortgage payment would be, but you just can't get approved for a mortgage.
Yep, that's the nature of the game, and it's really hard to understand, but that's what we're up against right now.
And hopefully in time that we'll figure out the vacation rental, and that is the idea behind that, is offsetting some of those dollars that we could use for infrastructure and not just keep taxing the same basin over and over.
Yep, that's exactly it. And we want to make sure that we have long-term rental accommodation as well as the short-term rental. So we want to put in regulations that will accommodate both so that those who come to our community or are working for a period of time can at least find some rental accommodation that they can afford to rent.
And I want a quick note. We're coming up to the spring, summer months, and we always know, especially come May, that's when we really start to see those, travelers and RVs and that type of thing. And I have a funny feeling it's going to be happening regardless. Might be a little less, though, as long as the kicking horse is rerouting traffic. People might end up just sticking through the Kootenays, but we're still going to end up seeing it. But we're not necessarily inviting people to town because we haven't really lifted the travel ban, but we're in this weird zone of we need your dollars, but we don't want you to come, but we're not going to invite you to come. But if you come, we'll accept your dollars. So really, where do we go from here?
Dr. Henry has made it clear, and the provincial government's made it clear they're not closing the provincial borders, so people are going to come. We're asking people when they come to follow the rules. And as the vaccines roll out in our country and in all provinces, but especially here, then I think people will feel a little more secure in what's going on as people travel. And again, as long as they wear their masks and abide by the rules, then I think we should be okay. We look at the numbers this past week. We're at 0, so no new cases of COVID in the Revelstoke area, Arrow Lakes area, so that's kind of nice. And we'd like that to carry on. So we're a little concerned as we move forward, as tourism and spring break and whatnot come about, but also people are here. Just follow the rules and be able to keep them safe and keep all of us safe.
And it was also released that it looks like frontline workers in BC will start getting those vaccines in April, meaning like police, firefighters, childcare providers, grocery stores, postal, and K-12 staff, teachers. So I believe that they'll be contacting those individuals. It was pretty clearly noted, don't phone and ask for it. They'll contact everyone for that. But it looks like that's going to be happening, and I would assume that makes its way up here too. So time will tell in the next 4 weeks.
Yeah, definitely that is being rolled out now. So their intention is to be going through employers, but not everybody is working for a company. Some people are self-employed, and so we expect in our area that either the provincial government or Interior Health will be reaching out to people and say, okay, you're basically ready to come. Usually what they do is go through the employer and say, okay, do you have people that need to be vaccinated? And they're also doing people who are living in group environments. So if they're in some sort of environment where they're living as a group, employers feel that it's prudent that they should be getting a vaccine to keep them safe, then the employers can reach out to Interior Health as well.
Awesome. Well, we've been chatting with our Mayor, Gary Sauls. Thank you, Gary, and we'll check in with you soon.
All right. Take care, Sean. Thanks again.